As a young person, I was born into a family where it was just my mum. When I was little, I remember it being like full of fun, full of love. I was in like, I would say one of the most loving environments you could think of. Like it didn't affect me that I didn't have a dad around. I didn't even realize. I guess I was fully trusting of everybody. And, you know, because of the man that my mum married, you know, obviously there's family members that come along with that. And so I had new grandparents and new aunties and uncles. And I actually formed a really close bond with one of my family members. The relationship started to change, like things started to sort of creep in, like that closeness started to get too close. But as a young person, like you think about it, at 10 years old, I didn't realize what was going on, but it ended up leading down a path of sexual abuse. I didn't tell anybody what was happening. I just kept it all inside and I pushed it all inside and ended up, I guess, locking it away in a place that I guess is how I thought I was dealing with it, and that's how you were meant to deal with it and just move forward in life. At the age of 17, I left home, dropped out of high school early. It was actually one day when I was living in Melbourne. I was just on a lunch break and I was just walking alongside the Yarra River and I got to sit down under a bridge, and everything I had been through, like all the hurt and all the pain and all the abuse, everything that I'd like pushed down and pushed away, it was in that moment that it all came flooding out. I ended up feeling like I had to write a letter to my mum and dad and tell them, you know, what had happened, and it just tore my mum and dad down. Like they were just like distraught. My family, like my aunties and uncles and everything, just fight and argue, and no one really cared about my thoughts or my opinions or even the fact that I felt like I'd forgiven you know, the person in my heart. Like no one cared. Everyone just argued with each other and it just brought massive division. I remember sitting on the floor in the shower one day and I had a bottle of drink in my hand and I was just sitting there, wasted as, and I was just like, my life just feels so empty. I was like, on the outside, everyone would think I've got it all together, but it didn't matter. Like on the inside, I had nothing. It was about a year ago now that God really spoke to me and said, you've got to call your family member and they've got to hear your voice and you've got to forgive them. And I just felt sick. I was like, oh man, like, that's the last thing I wanted to do. I was like, isn't forgiving them in my heart enough? I can't even explain the feeling of just having this conversation and going like, I remember he goes, why are you calling me? He goes, is this really you? And I said, yeah, it's really me. And he goes, why are you calling me? And I was like, I just felt like God said that I need to forgive you. I said, I forgave you in my heart ages ago, but you need to know, like, you're free. Like, I don't hold anything towards you. I love you. I want you to feel like you're a part of the family. You know, like, I just can't let you live with the weight of what's happened. And just the sound of like joy and freedom on the other end of the phone was unreal, in that sense that I'd like set somebody in that sense that I'd like set somebody free is, you can't buy that. As soon as I got off the phone, I felt like God just said, like, it's done. It's done. Like that series of forgiveness that needed to take place, a receiving of God's forgiveness for myself and the mistakes that I'd made, to then being able to pick up a phone and forgive somebody else and set them free. You know, as I think back and I look back at one of the darkest moments of my life, and that's sitting in the bottom of that shower floor and just thinking about how my life internally had just fallen apart. And I look at where I'm at now. Back then I could have never imagined that my life would be like this. Today I'm living in just one incredible life. I'm married to my best friend and my wife, and she's awesome, and her name's Zara. Man, I get to change people's lives, and I never would have thought I would have had the opportunity to do that. I mean, the fact that You know, I'm now a youth pastor on staff, working with young people and alongside high schoolers, and I've been doing that for like 6 years now. My life is full, my life is rich, it's filled with friends and family, life and love, and I'm one happy person.